It's 10 to 7. I'm Jolene Laverty. This is ABC Radio Darwin. Parenting is hard. Sometimes it's very, very hard. And for a lot of women, it's when things are hard, we're pretty well connected with our friendship groups. We don't really have any hesitation or barriers in reaching out, commuting into the community, connecting, expressing ourselves and so on. For a lot of men, it's really not that easy. And there's a support group coming to the top end, filling a void which exists at the moment to help dads out who are going through separation, which is in itself a very difficult time. And when you've got kids involved, it is the pits. Pete Nicholls is bringing Dads in Distress to Darwin. What is this group, Pete?
Good morning, Joe. Yes, we're a bunch of dads across the country coming to the top end who look after other dads going through separation. We've been around for about 24 years, but we're new to Darwin. And we're there to give a listening ear and help to a fellow bloke, who's doing it tough, maybe not seeing their kids, maybe losing their life partner, maybe they're going through financial strife, or maybe they become homeless as a result of separation. So, we're blokes helping blokes out.
Do you know what happened 24 years ago to create this group?
Well, the founder was a guy called Tony Miller. He was in Coffs Harbour in North New South Wales. He couldn't find any male-friendly help that was non-judgmental. So he advertised on local radio, actually, and sat on a veranda, and a whole bunch of blokes started turning up. And 24 years later, we have groups all across the country now doing exactly that.
Oh, gosh, I love that. I love all these men coming together. It's not easy as a man, is it, Pete? For a lot of women, the social structure is that we connect really easily, we can converse really easily, the barriers aren't as high, but they are higher for men, aren't they?
Well, look, I think there are subtle differences. Blokes are judged, historically, and nothing's really changed in a couple of thousand years. We're judged on being stoic, how tough we are. And so it's actually quite difficult for a bloke sometimes to express just how difficult this can be. And, look, if I get into a slightly thorny subject, every year in Australia, we lose about 3,000 people to suicide, sadly. And the largest single group of those are men by significantly 3/4. And the largest group of those are men going through separation. And quite often it's a very, very difficult subject for a bloke to talk about. Others would expect them to just tough it all the way through, but sometimes you need to let it out and actually find a way to discuss it with someone else. And we're a male-friendly place. We're non-judgmental, so guys can come along, they can sit in a circle, they can say what they need to say in order to get it out. And it makes a huge difference to the level of suicide around the country wherever we set up one of these groups.
Is that so? What sort of difference?
So, look, for every group that we run around the country, typically it's a free weekly group. It's just a peer support group. Guys just turn up and sit in a circle quietly. They have a discussion. We know from our own research that will prevent 5 to 8 suicides wherever that group operates. So we expect to see the same in Darwin over the next year. And that means that there's, 7 to 16 kids probably locally that get to keep their dad in their lives this next year just because of that group.
Mm. On ABC Radio Darwin, we're talking about a new program which is coming to the top end, Dads in Distress. Pete Nicholls is bringing it to Darwin. So what's the average meeting like? What do you get up to?
So look, it's typically a couple of hours long. It starts at around, for Darwin, it will start at 6 p.m. It's 2 hours long, but you hopefully join us at the beginning of it. We might sit in a circle. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. You can just come along and listen. It is for dads and dads only, because it's a safe place where they can feel like they're amongst their peers. Super critical. Some of the guys will talk about what they're going through. They'll start kind of throwing issues or challenges in the room. Others will respond with their insights, their wisdom. And it's practical support through a situation that's very difficult to navigate, particularly if you're going through that custodial minefield and you don't know how to communicate with your partner, what's fair, what's not fair, what should I do next? Here you're amongst guys who are going through the same thing as you. They're not judging you. They're not after your money. Everything we do is free. Mm. So it basically, they will walk away with a little bit of psychotherapeutic help, i.e., which is I've got my stuff out, and then a little bit of psychoeducational help, which is I've learned something that I can do to help my situation today. They love it. They come back at very high rates, and we know that it makes a big difference to how they feel and deal with the situation.
Nothing's ever really free, is it, Pete? So where are you getting your funding from?
Okay, well, it's the good old taxpayer. So we do get funding from the federal government. Myself and a couple of other people, the CEO, put together a proposal to the federal government. We did get funding, and we targeted specific places that we know that we have a real problem with separation and suicide in particular. And Darwin was one of those.
Really?
So
in what way? What are the figures up here?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you the stats, but when I looked at it about 18 months ago, when we put this together, Darwin would have been probably within the top 13 not supported areas that had significant levels of suicide and separation, and cases go through the custodial courts. But so, yeah, it would be a high priority area. Off the top of my head, I don't have the numbers right
that's
now.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's enough to know that it was something that was on your radar. So, Pete, where can people, dads in particular, get more info?
Sure. So, look, if they can go to our website, which is DIDS, which is DIDS, so that's Dads in Distress Support, dids.org.au. We also have a helpline number, which is open 7 days a week. By the way, we do support mums as well and grandparents. It's just that this particular group in Darwin is for dads, but the helpline is for everyone. It's 1300 853 437. And at some point, it might be nice just to say where the group is running this next Wednesday, if that's okay. So, look, we're kicking off at 6 p.m. this coming Wednesday, the 28th of June, at the Coconut Grove Community Hall, 24 Musgrave Crescent in Coconut Grove, and then every 2 weeks thereafter.
Okay, good one. Thank you very much, Pete. I hope your night goes really well.
Great. Thank you.